Here's the exact automation setup I use in GoHighLevel to protect my sender reputation and make sure I'm not losing the same lead twice. In this video, I'm going to show you how I detect bad email addresses before they have a chance to hurt my sender score, how I make sure my deliverability stays high after people unsubscribe, complain, spam, or bounce, and how I automatically win back leads that unsubscribed but then return back to my world. And it's simple stack of automation that just does everything for me, being on the background while I just run everything. So you have to set it all once and you're good to go, and it just will be there for you without you doing anything. So let's start from the simplest one and set up the bot detection and check out email. So we'll go to settings right here. We need the business profile, and we scroll down right to those checkboxes. So first of all, we want to make sure this checkbox is checked, right? It probably would be unchecked for you, so check it. And next we have the second option, right? Sorry, the fourth option. Verify email address when first email is sent to a new contact. Select this as yes, and then I think you should get an email because this feature costs money. It costs like, I'm not sure why. Okay, now I can see it. So that is the cost. Every time someone goes through it and it verifies it, it costs 0.0025 cents. So I feel like it's a fair price to pay. Also, if you're using someone else CRM, if you're on a white label CRM, probably they'll have to verify it. Right now, after I checked it, I just got an email to notify me, so that's something you should pay attention to. But most of the times, if that's your high level, it won't be any problems with that. Cool, so let's go back and start setting those automations. Let's wait. What I like to do is I like to create a separate folder. I call it tech, and I just leave it there. That's a folder that is always up and I'm not touching it. So let's open it up. Let's create a workflow. Let's start from scratch and let's start building it. First one, we'll build a one for those who unsubscribe. Let's call it unsubscriber. Let's make sure it's right. Unsubscriber. Cool. The intention and the idea of it is make sure that when someone unsubscribes, we unsubscribe them from all the channels. Because in some countries and by some law, you have to remove everyone. When someone unsubscribes from your email address, you have to remove them from your SMSs. That's what we'll make sure, and that's what basically we're doing. And for any malfunctioning, I never experienced any high level, but sometimes they happen, right? So we're adding that to make sure it happens. Cool. So the first trigger we're adding is obviously DND, right? Contact DND. Where one direction is outbound, and DND flag is enable for specific channel, and the specific channel would be email, right? The channel is email since they're unsubscribing through email. What we want to add to is another trigger. Right now it would be event, right? We have the email event right here. Let's type it down. We won't see it. Email event, and we'll go right there. Add event, and the event is unsubscribed. Cool, save trigger, and we're good to go. Then what you want to add and make sure, I mean, those are optional, but sometimes it saves me. So if you have a trigger link, so if people unsubscribe through a trigger link, then you want to add it as one of the filters. So you click on the trigger link and you look for your unsubscribe link. I don't have one, so I won't add. But if you do send emails with the unsubscribe trigger link, then add it right here. And one more thing that I like to add, which is not a necessity, is tag. So sometimes I like remove people by just adding the DND tag and not necessarily scrolling down and looking for it, and I can do it bulkily and easily. And when I do that, I want the system to actually unsubscribe them. So I'm doing that by adding a DND tag, right? So when I add the DND tag, it removes someone. So it would be tag added DND. right? On DND, save, and we're good to go. Now, right here, what we're adding is the actual DND, right? We want to enable the DND. So click right here, we do enable DND for all channels, and let's also change the name so we know exactly that it's DND and save action. Now, what I also like to do is to add the DND tag, right? So I know they DND, DND, add tag DND, right? Save action, good. And one last thing is to remove from workflow. I'm removing them from all workflow. That's what I like to do. It's not necessarily, but just to make sure, right? They're not getting any automation on the back end, something awkward. We're removing them from everything, right? They unsubscribe, they shouldn't get any emails. So we click on publish first of all, we click on save, and that's the first automation. Let's go back and let's add the complained spam automation. We'll click on create new workflow, start from scratch, and we'll call it complained spam. Perfect. For the trigger, we're looking for email event. The filter is event, and the event is complained spam. Save trigger. Super simple. That one is the simplest one. Next, what we want to do is to add a tag, right? We want to add the DND tag to know that they DND'd, plus we want to add the complained spam, right? Because you want to you want to differentiate them and find them on your CRM. So we do that by adding both tags, DND because they will be DND'd, and complaint spam because they complain spam. So I'm adding both. I have the complaint spam and I'm looking for the DND. Save and I'm good to go. One last thing that I add, I mean not last, but what I also need to add is to actually enable the DND. Enable DND, DND for it's not specific. I need for enable for all channels, save, good. And one last thing is remove from workflow. And I'm saying from all workflow and save action. So click on publish and draft. I do that because sometimes when people complain spam, they are not getting removed from the platform. And we don't want to keep the people who are complaining spam in our system, right? We don't want to keep sending them more emails because then they will just complain more and more spam and will hurt your sender reputation more and more. So we're adding that automation to just remove them out, right? We don't want to deal with those kind of people. Let's go back to workflows and add the final automation, the bounced automation. Bounce is pretty similar. Basically, bounced means that the email address is not getting to the destination. It is not reaching the inbox that we sent to, meaning it goes back and it hurts our reputation. Now, there are two bounce types. One of them is the hard bounce, which you can really do nothing about it. It means the inbox is dead. And there is soft bounce. Soft bounce means that the inbox is dead temporarily. In both cases, it hurts deliverability, and we don't have yet the tools to differentiate what type of bounce it was in HighLevel. So what I like to do, what is the safest option, is to remove everyone who's bouncing. So we'll do the same automation. Actually, what we can do is instead of creating a new one, we just can copy the complaint spam. So let's delete this one, the existing one. I mean, not the existing, the one that we just create, right? Delete, and we'll take the complaint spam and we will duplicate it. We'll call it bounced, since they'll be pretty much the same. Let's open it up and let's change it slightly. So the first thing that we need to change is the event would be bounced, save trigger, and right here we are changing it from complaint spam to bounced. right? So we don't care about the DND. We'll leave the DND as we'll DND them, but we do add the bounce tag. Save the action, DND right here, remove from all workflows, right? And let's click and save, publish, and we're good to go. Now it keeps our list clean. Every time something wrong or bad is happening, it just gets them out of the way. So let's go back to workflow and add the final one, the back to list automation. It's a very important one, which not a lot of people do, and I do find it pretty helpful, is sometimes when people disengage and unsubscribe from you, but then for some reason, for I don't know, something changed for them. Maybe they want something else. Maybe they want to re-engage. I don't know. They want to re-engage with your list. They want to say fill a form, go to your work, to your webinar. They want to book an appointment with you, and they opt in once again. But because the system flags them as DND, then they just don't receive any emails, which sucks. What we want to do is we want to reset this and make sure they keeps receiving your emails after DND was applied to them. So that's what we do. Let's create a new workflow, start from scratch, and let's call it back to list. Cool. Perfect. So the triggers would be anything that has related to opt into your list, right? So it will be forms submitted, and we don't really care about what kind of form, so it could be any form. But what you want to look for is if you have forms that are not like GDPR compliant. Like some countries, you have to make sure the form has the opt-in like things, that everything that you need to mention, that you'll be emailing them, whatever. So make sure all of your form has that, or if not all of your form has this, just select the right forms. So pick the right forms that you need, and that's it. Those that are GDPR compliant, right? So since most of my forms are, or just because I don't really care, then I'll just apply to every form. Then we do it for appointments. If they can book an appointment with you on the front end and not necessarily only through email, then add the appointment here. And once again, we don't really care what type of appointment unless you're making the claim that they will be receiving emails and you care about GDP rules. So the event is normal, then we click on add, appointment status is new, and in calendar, actually we don't care about calendar. Do we care about something else? No. That's what we need. Normal, new, maybe let's say confirm. Normal, confirmed, and that's it. Save. Okay, so one more thing to add. If you're running API stuff and not the only way to join your list is through form or booking an appointment with you, then add it right here. For most people, it would be those two, so we'll just keep on going. If you need to add, just add. Cool. So right here, the step we're looking for is if. Right now, every time someone is booking a form or an appointment, either their new contact or either their new or existing contact, they'll be going through this automation. So the action name is DND. What we want to do is to look out if they have DND. So the first branch, yes, they do have DND. What we're looking for is DND enabled channels includes email. Now, let's copy the same branch, but now we change it to no, and we change this to does not include, and we pick up email. Save action, that's what we need. So now, if they don't have a DND, either they're a new contact or their existing contact without a DND, the automation just ends. So let's add remove from workflow and remove from current workflow. Save action, and that's it. It's over for them. We don't care. If they did have DND and now they opted it one more time and we need to change it, so we click on the plus icon, we click on enable disable, and we click on disable DND. right? DND direction outbound and DND for specific channel we want for email. Maybe you even do for all channels, right? Disable for all channels. Let's do disable for all channels. Click and save. Now, next thing that we have to do is remove tag, right? Because they already joined the list and they already had the DND tag. So we're removing DND tag. I want the DND tag removed. Save action, and let's duplicate this step and just remove them from this automation. That's all that we need. So now we click on publish, we click on save. So by building all of those 4 automations, you're making sure you're keeping your list clean, your sender reputation high, and just removing any problems before they occurred or before they kind of snowballed into worse, right? Because if it bounces a bit more times, it hurts. If people complain more spam, it's bad. If people unsubscribe and something is happening, they're not removed, then it can save you a lawsuit. So we want to do this, make sure to add them. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, if you're looking to get more automation like this, if you want to improve your email marketing, feel free to subscribe to this channel, drop a comment below. If you have suggestions or questions regarding HighLevel, what kind of automation to use, what stuff to do, comment them below and I'll record a video for that. Thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.